Hello, everybody, and welcome to race number 32 of Season 5 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, as well as race number 6 of the Chase for the Championship. So we begin the second half of the chase, where we are definitely going to see who is going to be contending for the final race of the season for the championship. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono Raceway. So we're going to be going 20 laps here at this 2.5 mile tricky triangle, as it's called, here in Pocono, Pennsylvania, in the Pocono Mountains. Let's take a look and see how our chase standings look coming into this race. After last week at North Carolina at Rockingham, Chris Washer took over the points lead, and he's now the points leader, but by 4 points over our pole setter for the race, Charles Sanford. Third in points, a total of 10 points out, is William Duncan. Fourth, a total of 28 points out, is Sonny Hammond. Fifth, a total of 30 points out, is Michael Norman. Sixth, and a total of 33 points out, is Dorian Facepuncher. Seventh, a total of 38 points out, is Preston Plord. A tie for eighth, both 44 points out, are Matt McIntyre and Joshua Collard. Then the rest of the cars in points are definitely going to be drivers that need desperate wins and finishes to finish good in order to stay in contention for the next 4 races after this. 10th, a total of 56 points out, is Danny Wells. 11th, a total of 76 points out, is David Rivera. And 12th, a total of 78 points out, is Jesse Setti. And then a tie for 13th, both 100 points out of the points lead, Jessica Sheldon and Cole Daly. Those are the two must-win or must-do good for the rest of the chase drivers in order to stay in contention. But I'd say if they don't get good finishes this week and next week, I think it'd be safe to say that those two, Sheldon and Daly, would be mathematically eliminated. But anyways, as you see your starting grid on the top of your screen, let's take a look at the top 10 starters. Charles Sanford on the pole, second Preston Plord, third Jessica Sheldon, fourth Cody Lamas, fifth Chase Oliver, sixth Cole Daly, seventh is going to be Austin Weiner, 8th Jecko Knight, 9th Kendall Maynard, 10th Anthony McCrory. So you got 4 chasers starting in the top 10 in this race. Pace car pulling into pit road. We're about to go 20 laps of racing here at Pocono. Boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys and girls. Charles Sanford looks like he's going to get the lead to stay up there early going here in this race. Jessica Sheldon, who started third, she's trying to go for second. She wants to win this race so she can somehow, someway, stay in the hunt for the championship. Because right now she is tied with Cole Daly in 13th in points, 100 points out of the points lead. Charles Sanford was only 4 points out. He's in the lead. And I apologize for that little lag spike. And speaking of the points leader, Chris Washer, he's around the back of the pack, it looks like. Or no, he's mid-pack. Sanford led that lap, but now here comes Preston Plord and Austin Weiner, both down low, as they are going to try to go for second over Jessica Sheldon. And Preston Plord hasn't had the best couple of races as of late. He was up there for the points lead, and then he's kind of free-falled a little bit, but he's still mathematically in contention right now for the championship, only about 33 points out of the lead from Chris Washer. But Plord, right there to the back bumper of Charles Sanford. We could see a battle for the lead shaking up, but remember, we may have 1 or 2 pit stops happening here in this race, as this race is looking to come down to potentially pit strategy. As Plord, just as I expected, he's going to go low and go by for the lead. Here comes the other Charles Jackson, coming low under Charles Sanford for second. And already 2 cars who started around the back of the top 10, Jecko Knight and Anthony McCrory, are already starting to make moves up here at the front. Stephen Pollard the third, not sure where he started, but he's already up to the 7th spot here in this race. But right now, Preston Plord is the leader here at Pocono in the Pennsylvania 400. Let's take a look and see where the Chasers are currently running. Preston Plord up at the front. Let's start with Michael Norman. He is, wow, way back there in 38th. Danny Wells, not much better, 31st. Chris Washer up in 15th. David Rivera, ooh, back there in 41st. Matt McIntyre in 24th. Jessica Sheldon last scored 11th. I apologize for these lag spikes. The game's back to doing stupid crap again. I apologize. I have to get that fixed. But Sanford is in 3rd. At least he was last time scored. Dorian Face Puncher was last scored in 12th. Let's see where he's going to be scored now. Could potentially be top 10. Let's see, 11th. Just outside of it. Sonny Hammond back in 32nd. Jesse Setti up in 16th. And then Preston Plord, of course, the leader, but Charles Jackson right there behind him. Joshua Collard was last scored in 30th. Cole Daly up there last scored 25th. And then the last one, William Duncan, last scored in 17th. Back up at the front as we're almost a quarter of the way through this race. Preston Plord is the leader and the highest of the Chasers, but he's got non-chaser Charles Jackson behind him. Charles Jackson, he would love to get his 2nd win of his career and of the season. Remember, he won back at Watkins Glen to finally end that long wait of winning a points race. And like I said, he was the only one at the time who had been in Walmart Cup Series from the very beginning to current stages and not have yet won a points race until he won at Watkins Glen and dominated that race too. Right now, Charles Jackson's just a little bit within striking distance of Preston Plord. 3rd right now, Anthony McCrory. So McCrory having a solid run going for himself. McCrory comes into the points 17th in the points, only 18 points out of the 15th spot. The highest of non-chasers right now is Chase Oliver as far as in the points goes. In fact, the rest of that top 20 in the standings that are all battling for that 15th position to be the highest of the non-chasers at the end of the season are Chase Oliver, P.J. Williams, Anthony McCrory, rookie Jackie Tang, Cody Lamas, and Chris Thomas. And I apologize for that lag spike again. This game's kind of been on the fritz as of late. Speaking of McCrory, though, he's caught the 2 top drivers up at the front, both Plord and Jackson, to make this a potential 3-car battle for the race lead. But we could be approaching green flag pit stops here at any moment. Because the cars are going faster on this track, and they're running a lot more aggressively, they'll have to make a pit stop or 2. Depending on the fuel window. Right now, the guy running in dead last is Chris Thomas, who is 21st in the standings. He'd been getting a couple of good runs as of late, but right now, not so good for that 14 car out of Stewart-Haas. Which next season, that car will be in a new team called Tweenix Racing. And oh, a little bit of a bump from Charles Jackson to the back bumper of Preston Plord, giving a little message saying, hey, I'm right here and I'm gonna wait and just mess with you right now, practically. That's the game both Charles Jackson and Anthony McCurry are pulling here. As all three of those cars are running a freight train formation right at the moment. Is one of them going to step out of line to try to go up to the front is the question. And so far they're not really going for that, at least not right now. They could be waiting and timing that move when it's right. Checking around the back to see what was going on back there. And like I said, we could be approaching pit stops at any moment here in this race. And as I say that, one car pulls off and is going to go in. That's Jekko Knight and a few cars, including points leader Chris Washer. Not very many cars came down here in this first group, but decided to come down anyways. You see Jekko Knight, Chris Washer, Cody Lamas, Kyle Matthews, Matt McIntyre, Michael Norman, Chase Oliver, Chris Thomas, Dylan Young, Joshua Balkin, and Trent Dunham. Trent Dunham sporting a brand new Bass Pro Shops car back here, reminiscent of the 2010 version of that car when Jamie McMurray had that sponsor. Meanwhile, back up to the front as we are closing in on the halfway point of the race. This is a critical point in the race depending on what strategy these cars are going to go for when it comes to fuel. And here comes Preston Plord. And I don't think I saw anybody stay out. Although one car did, not Preston Plord, but Stephen Pollard III. He stayed out an extra lap to lead a lap to get bonus points. This could be good for that 93 car, depending on when we come down to laps 18 and 19 and 20, of whether or not those cars who pitted before him have to pit then. Plord could go with a strategy and stay up at the front and win this race, potentially. It depends on where he ends up in the field after these pit stops have been completed. And Plord's slowing down to get ready to go in. And there he is going into the pits. As the second group of cars are finishing up their stops. So some of the field cycling is starting to go on right now. And it looks like potentially the lead will cycle back around to Preston Plord. But now with a big margin between himself and Charles Jackson, McCurry has lost touch with both of those cars. And there is Stephen Pollard III getting out of his pit stall to come down out of the pits and back onto the track. And Preston Plord has indeed been scored back around as the leader. It's actually, whoa, that was a huge lag spike. Hopefully the game will get out of the fritz here soon. But anyways, let's take a look and see how the field looks after that round of pit stops. Preston Plord is back up to the front. Second, Charles Jackson. Third, Anthony McCurry. Fourth, Jekko Knight. Fifth is going to be Joshua Balkin. Sixth, Chase Oliver. Seventh, Dorian Facepuncher. Eighth, Kendall Maynard. Ninth, Stephen Pollard III. 10th, Cody Lamas. 11th is Jesse Setti. 12th is James McLeod. 13th, Austin Weiner. 14th is going to be Trent Dunham. 15th is Chris Washer. 16th, Kyle Matthews. 17th, Alex Hawkins. 18th, Ian Dutta. 19th is going to be Brandon Gonzalez. 20th will be William Duncan. 21st will be Dylan Young. 22nd will be Jessica Sheldon. 23rd, Matt McIntyre. 24th, Charles Sanford. 25th, Jackie Tang. 26th, Joshua Collard. 27th, Chris Thomas. 28th, Rue McIntyre. 29th, PJ Williams. 30th, Sonny Hammond. 31st, Sean Galligan. 32nd will be Michael Norman. 33rd, Mitchell Riggs. 34th, Seth Cole. 35th, Brandon Nichols. 36th, David Rivera. 37th will be Joshua Michaels. 38th, Danny Wells. 39th, Daniel Day. 40th, Dylan Thoreau. 41st, James Qualls. And 42nd is Cole Daly. I'm guessing by the looks of this with the 88, it looks like most likely after this race he will be pretty much be eliminated from the championship contentionship, because I don't see him coming back after this race. Meanwhile, Preston Plord still is the leader, but Charles Jackson right back behind him, sort of like what we saw before the pit stops. Right now, the top four are all pretty close together, within a second of each other. From Plord on back to Jecko Knight in fourth, separated by almost 8/10. But Preston Plord, ever since he got the lead on lap 2 or 3, nobody's really been able to get on by him, although Charles Jackson's just been clinging on to that back bumper of the 42 for so long. It's just he has not yet made a move. He could be waiting for the right moment to go for it, depending on how much of speed he's got under that car. That's going to be the big thing. Not only that, but also with pit strategy as well. And because of how close they were to halfway, they pitted on the laps 9 and 10 range. So these cars will end up maybe having to pit again on the laps 19 and 20 range. And depending on how that all works out, Stephen Pollard III could be the driver to be in the catbird seat, because he is back right here in 7th, not too far from the leaders. And he's got more of a cushion in terms of the amount of gas under his hood, or in his car. So he could potentially get the victory if they have to pit again. But it's going to be very, very close, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that's going to work. But meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, Preston Plord is just still leading the way here, as it's now 4 laps to go here at Pocono. And the next race we head to will be held at Rockingham, UK. And then we've got Talladega, Kansas, and Armory Digital left of the chase and for the season, before we get on to a massive Season 6 that will be coming very, very soon. Meanwhile, as we are looking around to see what all is happening in the top 10, not too much as far as much battles, although James McLeod looks like he is going to go by, from what it looks like, potentially the 11th spot, or 10th, yes. Let's real quick and take a look at the chasers. Starting with the numbers. Michael Norman, 33rd. Danny Wells in 40th. Chris Washer in 14th. David Rivera, 34th. Matt McIntyre, 21st. Jessica Sheldon last scored 19th. Charles Sanford, 26th. Dorian Facepuncher last scored 5th. Sonny Hammond, 30th. Jesse Setti, 17th. Preston Plord last scored up at the front. Joshua Collard, 23rd. Cole Daly still in dead last. And William Duncan last scored 20th, as it's 2 to go. Up here with Preston Plord. This is around the time where we saw the pit stops take place 10 laps before. So we could see cars end up having to maybe make their final pit stop of the race, or they're going to try and stretch it to the end. But if they try to stretch it, it's going to be very, very close. First, let's keep an eye out here on Jekko Knight, because he was the first to pull in the pit road during the first round of stops. But he's not going to pull in this time, as the white flag is out for Preston Plord. If he wins this race, this will be his third career Walmart Cup Series win and the second of the season for that 42 team. Charles Jackson's still been on the back bumper. If he's going to go for the win, he's going to have to make a move here on this final lap if he's going to go for it. Right now, he's starting to lose a little bit of touch with that 42 car. It all just depends on the speed and the timing of his move if he does try to make one. Right now, he's going to have to dive it in the turn 3 if he's going to have a chance. Oh, he tried a little bit, but he's just not going to be able to hold on to it. And it looks like Preston Plord's going to get it. Coming out of turn 3 after a huge lag spike. Coming to the checkered flag. Preston Plord wins the Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono. Preston Plord now going to be higher in the point standings. Back in the real contention for the championship now with 4 races to go. Let's go ahead and look at the results real quick. Preston Plord gets his second win of the season. Great job for that number 42 out of Ganassi Racing. Charles Jackson couldn't make the move that he wanted to make during the end of the race to go for that win, but he's going to come away with second. Anthony McCurry gets a great finish, a third. Jekko Knight, been a long time since we've talked about him finishing top 5 or top 10 for that matter. He's going to come away in fourth. And Stephen Pollard III, rounding out the top 5 in 5th. Great job for him. Dorian Facepuncher was the second highest of the chasers. He came away with 6th. James McLeod, solid finish in 7th. He's been starting to get on a little bit of a roll with his finishes. Kendall Maynor, solid run in 8th. Joshua Balkin, great run at 9th. And Cody Lamas, rounding out the top 10. Solid performance for him. Rest of the top 20. Chase Oliver, Trent Dunham, Austin Weiner, Chris Washer, Kyle Matthews, Brandon Gonzalez, Jessica Sheldon, Jesse Setti, Joshua Collard, Matt McIntyre. Rest of the top 30, William Duncan, Ian Dutta, Rue McIntyre, Chris Thomas, Charles Sanford, Sonny Hammond, Sean Galligan, Dylan Young, Mitchell Riggs, and Jackie Tang. Rest of the top 40, PJ Williams, Michael Norman, David Rivera, Brandon Nichols, Joshua Michaels, Seth Cole, Dylan Thoreau, Daniel Day, Danny Wells, and Cole Daly. And then the last 2 cars, James Qualls and Alex Hawkins. That does it for our coverage here at the Pennsylvania 400 at Pocono. Here are your results, rookie points, regular points heading into the next race, which is going to be held at Rockingham, UK. But anyways, peace out, everybody.